Yeah, man, that
Hi,
can work.
Maria. I'm so excited for a conversation. You can feel my excitement?
Yeah, I can.
All right, so I have a whole heap of questions for you because it's not often that we get to sit down with an engineer. So I know there are several persons who are even doing schoolwork or they're in school now becoming an engineer and they've never even spoken to an engineer before. So I'm so happy that we have you on our platform, Minds of Jamaica, so that you'll be able to educate us on the different things that an engineer does and what does it take it to even become an engineer.
No problem, no problem.
All right, so let's start with a little bit about your journey. What was that like? Schools?
All
When
right,
did you
well,
want to become an engineer? All that.
all right, so well, I basically cut with the grain. Growing up, your parents tell you what you want to be, what they want you to become, not what you want to become. So yeah, you're gonna become doctor, lawyer, engineer. The usual status quo. So I went to Ulmos in from first form. I was always a lover of the sciences. So I knew from an early stage that I wanted to do something with the sciences. You know, So I did all the sciences. Fifth form, up to fifth form, I didn't know what I wanted to become, but I knew that I was doing the quote unquote harder subjects. So it would be
Mhm.
easier to transition to wherever I want after. Because I also did business subjects in CXC.
Okay.
In sixth form now, I decided, all right, full sciences, and then, but I'm still, it's either a doctor or an engineer. Which one do I want to become? So in lower six, you go to the hospital, and so went to KPH, went to the renal clinic. So went there, and I'm there. They're showing us all about this dialysis. So I'm seeing the blood, I'm hearing the blood, I'm feeling the blood. So from there and then I knew, nah, doctor wasn't for me at all,
Um,
at all. The next day I tried to drop bio, but they wouldn't allow me to. So I went through, I did it. So from there, I knew that I wanted to be an engineer, but I wasn't sure what type of engineer I wanted to become because there's many types. You have the main mechanical, chemical, electrical. Um, in in Trinidad, you have the petroleum, and then you break it down, electronics and such. So on going to university, that's where I actually fully decided. I actually just sent my application for an engineering degree. Anyone I was fine with. But then on the first week of UA, when we went to the different departments and they spoke to us, telling us what we can actually do with our degree, that's when I cemented that I wanted to become a mechanical engineer. So I'd say my journey was a bit straightforward. I knew that I just needed to do the sciences, and then whenever I decided to do something, which I ended up doing, and I'd be fine. So, yeah, I don't know if that answered the question. Ish.
does it does answer me? Well, see too, you also emphasized that you saw the blood and you knew that being a doctor wasn't for you. So those are some of the experiences that I wish more persons would have before they commit to a career or before they
Yes,
commit
that's
to paying
true.
that lump
That's
sum of
true.
the school fee. Right.
That's true.
So I'm so happy that we have you to educate us and our mentees, your mentees who are looking to venture into a career of engineering and have no idea what is expected.
Yeah, man.
So that was a good learning experience for you, though.
Very, very. I can't, boy. Can you imagine if I didn't go there and I became a doctor? I fainted with the
With
patients.
your money, and that's not cheap.
No, at all.
All right, so yeah, you had a really pretty straightforward journey. You sound like one of those children where your mommy said you have to become this, or this, and you were like, okay, I'm just gonna. go to a
Um,
traditional career?
I wouldn't say she said that I had to become. She just kind of my mom and even my teachers, because I wasn't a slouch when it come to the book. So my book them always open. So they always push me to certain careers, believing that that's what the career that most people like who love book and are bookworms should do. But it was something where I kind of after a while I gravitated to and I had even a bigger push while because early in my years, my school years, high school years, actually was a part of a program at UA called the Generating Genius program, where we actually focused on sciences. So we did a lot of robotics, we did microbiology, and that for I say my eyes were open from that time. That time.
We're gonna circle back to that program, that Generating Genius program. But I also want to point out that Kamir always brags that this is where you and him met, and the friendship just started from there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I,
So we'll
he was
circle
from
back to that
Mowbray and
again.
from
So,
Kingston and all those
but
years.
that too, like the networking opportunity that that gives is such a good base for persons who are coming up, who want to figure out and meet new people and talk about different careers before they get into it. So that too was a good starting point. So you mentioned that you studied the sciences. What subjects do you recommend for persons who are looking to
To become an engineer.
become an engineer?
Well, just seeing that you just want to become an engineer. You don't know what type of engineer you want to become, right? The sciences is a must. So you have your physics, your chemistry, your bio, and yeah, your maths. Yeah. I know a lot of people don't like that, but it's something where you have to do it. You have to do it, And then dependent if you actually know what type of engineer you want to become before you probably can I could have dropped the bio from earlier because I didn't really need that, you know. So those are the main I say the core subjects. And being an engineer is all about problem solving. So don't feel like when you go to university you're only going to focus on those, right? You'll be delving in a lot of things, all different,
Well, that explains the math.
even back into business. So, yeah.
Wow. So, well, that explains the math because if you're gonna be solving problems, then we're gonna give you problems to solve. That's what math does, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All right. So, what are some of the available school options? So, I know that persons might want to stay close to home, or they can come home pretty easily if there's anything. What are some of the options that you would recommend, or what did you do? What was your path like?
All right. So, after my going to Ulmos, my vice principal, she was actually Trinidadian. So she was there really pushing us to go to Trinidad. We always knew that, quote unquote, that Trinidad had a better engineering program, right? Not bashing UTech. I didn't experience UTech, but I've met a lot of UTech engineers that are top tier. Um, so I went to UA St. Augustine. Me and a couple of my friends. That's where if you meet a lot of old Jamaican engineers, that's where they actually started their career, went to school there. But UTech is here, and UTech has a very good program. Um, and UE, I think UE Mona not recently started their electrical engineering program, and they offer
So,
electronics also. So yeah.
so for persons who are looking to go to university to study engineering, you can you can go to themindsaf.com and you can connect with Mario and we'll research the options together about
Sure.
tertiary education. All right, so yeah, this is my favorite question now. What is the day in the life like for an engineer?
You see, um, it's it really varies. You have some that are in the office all day, maths, 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 drawing. And you have some that barely see the office. They're outside seeing their designs come to life, you know. For me, it's basically I work at a plant, right? So getting to work in the morning, the first thing I do, I go through everything that happened in the plant the day before, analyze the data, see where we actually fall down, see how can we get the efficiency or get the plant more efficient, right? It really varies. It goes from being in AC, if you're lucky, to having the broadest hat in the sun all day.
Wow.
And sometimes it's very long, but it's fulfilling. It's wonderful seeing your designs come to life. If it's a physical design or even if it's just parametric design and changes that lead to a greater efficiency. So
Okay. All right. So it sounds like it's not a very planned out hour to hour basis type of day. And
most
that's
times
when,
you plan your day because you have so much things to deal with. You have to just know what you put in first. You're dealing with the contractors. You also have your work to do. You still have this new design that your boss been asking you about. So you're all over the place. And meetings, the worst meetings. You have meetings from 8 to 4 and you still have all the things to be done at 4:30.
wow, not jealous. And that your job is kind of spontaneous too because we were set to have our live on Monday and you just said, guys, work emergency, and we had to push back. So I just want to point out for persons who are looking up to become a part of that career too, um that your days can go left, like with anything else, with life.
Yeah, with anything, you know, you plan. They always say while man a plan gotta laugh or so.
Like,
Yeah, so wipe. Yeah, so that's just what it is. That's what it is.
all right, so we have a question from Day Lawrence, one of our minds too, Daniel Lawrence. She says, "Can you give an example of what you design?" I don't know if mechanical engineers design too.
Of course, man. Of course. All right. Um, let's see. I'm no energy engineer, right? But that hasn't been my career all this time. My first job, I was actually a MEP engineer. That's mechanical, electrical, and plumbing engineer. Where I design mechanical, which is like the air conditioning units, the plumbing, and the electrical for buildings. So probably the best thing that I've designed was I designed the mechanical and plumbing system for the largest multi-story car park in the Caribbean right now. It's in Trinidad. It's called Furnace Car Park, right? Right in Port of Spain. Can't miss it. And so yeah,
Wow,
that was one of the biggest jobs I've been a part of. And I was the main engineer on
I feel proud to know you.
that.
All right, Daniel says awesome. All right, so you just brought up a point. There are different aspects in each career. What are some of the aspects or different arms? I don't know what you call them in engineering, like the different path that you
Okay.
can venture into, or what you can use a degree for then.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm a mechanical engineer, right? So no sidebar, no, I cannot fix cars. I can't fix cars. I have a mechanic for that, right? But yeah, I'm a mechanical engineer. And basically I deal with I'd say everything that moves. If it moves, a mechanical engineer will deal with that. So your pumps, your engines, right? Also deal with other things that don't move, that deal with a lot of heat. So boilers, compressors, those type of things. So anything that have parts that move, are usually a mechanical engineer deals with that. So then you have the civil engineers. And most people always, the first thing that come to their mind is, oh, then build road and bridge.
Average.
Yeah, road and bridge. But they are very important, and I rate all of them. So they deal with structures. Most of their work is things that don't move. They design things to stay put. So I design things to break down and move. They design things to stay put, right? Then you have the electrical engineer, which is quite straightforward. They deal with electrics, current, lights, what can I say, control systems, you
Right.
know. Um, and then you have your chemical engineers. Oh, someone study mechatronics. Yeah, all right. Mechatronics is a link between mechanical and electrical, and that's where you have a lot of new engine, quote unquote, new engineering practices where they basically combine. You combine your mechanical, you combine your electronics, you combine your chemical, you combine your mechanical. You know, it's a lot of things where you just pick and choose because you learn. I learned mechanical, right? But through mechanical, in energy engineering where I deal with a lot of electrical stuff. Mind you, I did courses in it. But with your degree can takes you far and wide. And that's exactly why I did mechanical engineering. I never know what exactly I wanted to do. I just knew that this can open a lot of doors for me,
Right.
and I just ran with it. Because later me just start rant. I mean, no yet, too early.
Honestly, I always think an engineer is so diverse. Like when I think of engineers, I think of project managers. Like they are basically in control of everything. So
Yeah, that
based on
is.
what you're saying,
Come on, continue. Sorry.
oh, based on what you're saying, it's basically that they're the one that formulate the idea, bring the idea to life, maintain the idea, like the full work.
Perfect. That's perfectly put. Perfectly put. Because to tell the truth, the hardest thing for me to explain is what a mechanical engineer is, what an engineer is, because it's so diverse. I just know that in layman terms, an engineer is someone that solves problems, and
And
that's it.
that usually doesn't help us though, because like which problem? Um, hey, nah, I don't want to spoil that. It's such a pretty name. Says currently studying mechatronics. So I'm guessing that's a mix between mechanical and electronics. Is there a need for those engineers locally?
Yeah, man. How I see it, how I see it, there's always a need for engineers, right? It's just if they're willing to pay you as an engineer,
Whew, I don't have any comments on that one because
right?
I think it's one of our deficiencies as
Because
a country. So
one can say you use mechatronic engineers in the production industry a lot for sure that all the boxing and such they're gonna need them. Seeing that you're basically linking computer electronics with the mechanical part. So it's a lot of controls. And maybe they won't have a, let's say, a career or a opening for a mechatronic engineer, but with a mechatronic degree, you will get a lot of probably electrical engineer jobs and such. So it's here. The opportunity is here.
I love that answer. I also want to add, I don't think you should consider if there's a need for them locally. I feel like it's more for you to show that company how you would be able to assist them. Like create your own need. So
Yes,
that's really,
I agree. It's sometimes it's most times it's easier said than done though, because yeah, first when doing that you're starting from ground zero and it's is if you have the patience. And they
uh,
always say, yeah, they say the younger generation have no patience,
so,
so
already gone to school, we can't wait to
yeah. So
pay back the
one thing I
degree.
will say is it's the settling thing. Yeah, do it to get off the ground, but after you get the experience, don't settle. Don't settle.
All right, so for the next one, what surprised you the most about your career? Like you finished school, you've never had any experience in your field, you start working. What surprised you the most?
Um, I guess how it makes me think. Since doing my degree, I've I was always a critical thinker, yes, but it's it makes me find quote unquote solutions in ways where I don't think if I didn't do the degree I'd see it, and it opened my eyes to a lot, and yeah, so probably that's the biggest thing. And the other thing is just where how broad the different industries I can actually work with it. Because I knew it was diverse, but I never knew this diverse. Because before I got this job, I actually was a production manager at a company for a couple months. So, and they actually hired me because I was an engineer, and just because they knew that I'd think in a way that persons there won't think. And
Right.
it kind of sound cheesy, but I agree.
I guess they
So
were looking for new ideas and new
yeah.
perspectives.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, I love that. Uh, I was supposed to ask you this one. So, is it hard, considering your job is so spontaneous, then, is it hard to balance that with a social or family life?
Well, I wouldn't say for me. I wouldn't say for me because when it's time for me to, go party, go away COVID, because I've missed a lot of party. But when
Right.
it's time for me to link up with my friends, they're always wondering what I do in make me look coming like me have so much free time. But it's all about balance, time management. Uh, I would say though, I immerse a lot of times people tend to immerse themselves in their jobs and time pass by and they miss out on a lot. And I try not to have that happen to me. So
Okay.
it's hard to balance. I won't say it's easy. I won't. Because right now I'm at work and when I finish here I need to finish something before I head home. So
Wow. I always say I'm a little bit grateful for you just clock off the clock. You're off the clock, so it's my turn.
yeah,
So,
and that's the thing.
um,
Sometimes an engineer job it never finish because even
no.
when you home probably you have workers working and then they'll call you if they have a problem. Or I haven't my phone. I sleep beside my phone for the past all jobs that I've been in the past 5 years. I've been getting called at wee hours and
All right,
that's just
guys.
it.
For persons who are becoming an engineer, just know that's a requirement, or it may be a requirement in your
You can't
field.
lock off your phone and them things, man. Nah.
Yeah. All right. So we spoke a little bit about the development program that you were a part of called Generating Genius, and with Minds of Jamaica too, we had a virtual internship for bioinformatics.
Yeah.
So the review that we got from that was remarkable, completely awesome. And I want to know if that too, that development program, Generating Genius, did that. I know you shared it's no longer in effect, but did that too push you or continue to motivate you to a career path that you wouldn't have thought of originally?
Well, I say I was always looking towards the engineering field or science field, but it really did open my mind to a lot, to a lot. It's I find like that was, as I said, the driving force that I saw that yeah, this is possibly a career for me. Cause come on, you're a little child playing with robots. We legit building, we legit building robots and programming them. You can't really get better than that. We there was a point when we were even at where were we? On airport road we were testing water. Things that you don't get those opportunities till you're probably in university when and then the first time you do it, I said, Channel Star, I probably shouldn't have done this. This was boring. But yeah, and and that's probably why I was so intrigued with Minds of Jamaica when Kamir asked me to join because a lot of people they don't know what they want, and it really helps when someone is in a career path, a career field that they can speak to you about it. because I wasn't guided really. Yeah, I went to the program, and yeah, that opened my eyes. But I didn't have an engineer that was talking to me and telling me, "Yo, this was how my day was," and I had to design that. Wow, nah.
Okay.
So I didn't face that, and I want to offer that to someone.
Like to the having a mentor would have even motivated you more in the case that you needed it to say, hey, you can do this. This is what happened. This was my experience. To just continue to push you forward.
Sorry?
Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah, a little low.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you a little.
Okay. All right. So I was saying that if you had a mentor who would you and say, hey, this was my experience. It would have. I don't know what happened to my volume. I hope it's better now.
I try again.
Oh my god, I don't know what happened to my audio. Alright, so this is it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, man, I hear now a little better. Let me turn off the fan.
Alright, so I was saying that if you had a mentor or a mind, if this program was around, it would have motivated you a little bit more just in case you needed it.
For sure, for sure, for
Okay.
sure.
Alright, so my last question, I think, two more questions. Was it expensive to become an engineer?
Was it alright? Everything takes money. Let's not go around that. But that's why I actually chose that actually pushed me to go to Trinidad because being away from Jamaica, you have the opportunity to get a lot of scholarships because I got a scholarship to study in Trinidad, and my almost everyone that went with me to Trinidad, they got scholarships and grants because you're away from Jamaica and you'll more likely get it. But yeah, people say SLB no is a no, but boy, if you want it, you have to use it. So I'd say it was actually cheaper when I calculated it to study in Trinidad than to study at UTech.
Okay.
So I see Claire asks, which do you think is more important in your field, practical experience or formal education, or a degree? Um, I say a degree is just to get the job. Yeah, I don't know if you understand what I say. You just have the degree to get the job. People with practical experience, right? They probably can do the job much better than you, no doubt. But what I notice is that once you have that engineering degree, people look at your resume differently. But for I really think that even with the degree, the first 2 years of our engineer's career, they should legit spend being technicians, because technicians usually one step below an engineer, and I feel that is where you should gain most of your practical experience, because you're not going to gain much at school at all. And I have I've read a lot of books, and when I go in the field, the same thing them that was in the book, I not seeing it out there, and is it, but I not seeing it, and I don't know what I'm looking at, you know. But at the same time, with the degree, I understand how it works. So a lot of people with the practical experiences just know, yo, I know to fix this, but I know the background and how it works. So for engineer, it's always 50-50. And I stand by that 50-50.
I'm glad Claire asked that too because I was gonna ask, do you think that doing internships or volunteering will actually boost your resume when you're applying to university or for a job.
For sure, for
You guys
sure,
still can't hear me.
for sure. It kind of low, but yeah, for sure, for sure. And that's a plus. I I actually feel that maybe if I worked in the field before I went to school, I'd get more out of school. Because I had a lot of friends that they actually worked for a year or two in the engineering field, being technicians, and then they went to school, and it was so much easier for them. It was so much easier for them. Even during school, I noticed they have some companies that have summer programs. I've actually been in one every summer because I worked at Jamaica one year. I worked in the ministry one year. I worked at Water Commission one year. You know, that's months, months and months, months and months. And that's where I got most of my, I'd say, my early experience that when I actually went back to school and started to learn it, I said, oh, sure, I see that already. I see that already. I know that, so.
Well, I'm sure the experience would naturally give you that push. Claire is asking, would you recommend engineering students take a gap year before studying? What are the benefits of doing it overseas versus in Jamaica? Good question, sir.
Oh, the last part. What's the last part about? When
What
you
are
say
the
what are the
benefits of
benefits
doing
of,
it overseas
as in
versus in
schooling?
Jamaica?
Schooling?
Yeah,
Schooling. Okay.
schooling or work, sir. You can clear it up.
All right. Well, would you? I would recommend a gap year if you're you have the opportunity to work in the industry, right? If you're working in the industry, yeah, take that gap year. Why not? You're getting a job that you're gonna legit go to school and then learn about later. Yeah, but I find if it's not for the industry, if it's just a normal job or you just want a break, I feel like school is a thing where the moment you stop, you'll never do it again. The moment you put down that and close that book, it's so hard to open it again, right? But a gap year would help if you're going into the industry, and I'm an advocate for that. Read the benefits now. I don't know the facilities at UTech, right? I don't know, but I know for sure you'll actually probably see more practical or more lab. Yeah, I see. See, Joel said momentum, and yes, momentum is very important. But yeah, I don't know the facilities here at UTech, so I can't speak on that. In Trinidad, we were at a quote unquote, it's a very industrialized country, especially Trinidad, and you have the oil and such. So we had the factories to go to. We could visit a lot of places and see things working practically. So only if I noticed while I was here, I don't know if UTech students get to go to, let's say, Jamalco or Windalco and look at steam turbines and such, but I got to see it while I was in Trinidad. I went to steel plants while I was in Trinidad. I went to PVC pulling plants while I was there. So I saw a lot of practical work while there, but I don't know if it's here in UTech. I probably need to go and speak to a couple of my co-workers about that. So I can't speak on Jamaica.
Okay. All right. So if that's the case where a mentee would like to figure that out, you can always reach out to go to the mindsof.com, connect with Mario, and we'll be able to research it together. Kim
Oh, here it is.
Barba says in
Kemar.
my program they took us to factories.
All
Yeah.
right. So yes. So yeah. But as I said, Trinidad was more industrialized, so I got to see a broader range of things. In Jamaica, I didn't even know that they made the big water tanks, the big water tanks that you see on,
Yeah,
on
for
houses and things.
NWC.
There's actually a factory that makes them here. I never know that.
I didn't,
I did
but
not know that.
teach us a wise one. I
You
didn't know
know,
that either.
and I even yesterday I went to a small factory on Spanish Town roads where they actually burn rubber, burn tires, and make oil.
Oh,
And I didn't know that that was in Jamaica either. You know,
okay.
so
I didn't know that one.
yeah, all I knew was you have a bauxite factory, you have your bottling companies, and so there's a lot of things here. It's just that are the students aware of them? Oh yeah, there it is. You take as a mandatory industrial work experience. There it is.
Okay.
And that's
All right. Thank you so much, Ken Marbar, for sharing that. We didn't know, so that
no,
definitely
actually no.
enriches.
I knew. We just slipped
I
me.
didn't know. I
I'm
didn't know.
sorry.
And I'm
Sorry,
sure that
Kimar.
there are
That's why.
probably other persons who are doing the career that probably don't know as well. So,
Yeah, we weren't where I was. I didn't need to get industrial work experience. But I think here in Jamaica you do BEng, bachelor's in engineering, while in Trinidad you do a BSc is still a bachelor in science of whatever engineering. So
okay.
here's 4 years, there's three.
Okay. All right. So, last question. All right. So, for me, in my experience, engineer is perceived as a male-dominated career field. I know that is changing, of course, because more women are looking to venture into that. Do you think are you seeing an increase in the number of women that are in the career field?
Boy, I never say little bit of them. I'm always surrounded by female engineers. There's especially where I'm working now, there there are a lot. There are a lot. I'm never want to say that let's say a female cannot do something. We both can do anything we want to do. And I'd love for more female engineers to come about. I don't mind. I'm a man. I don't mind them at all.
I think we've moved past that now. We're in 2020, right? I mean,
Yeah. That's a bit that's old times. Man. While I was in school, I was there was a 50-50 split. If not, they were more female. Sorry, they were more women. I'm sorry. I'll never say that F word again. There were more women
right.
in class than than the males are. So
All right.
they say it's a male dominant field, and it's probably that's what is portrayed and that's what people from outside see. But I don't really agree. The biggest thing is probably that they feel like when it's time to work on site, you're not gonna see a lot of them on site.
Okay.
So when it's time for be on site and they have to bud up some money, and so
Well, I guess that's the perspective of an outsider looking into. So, thank you so much, Mary. I don't have any more questions. If you have any more questions for Mary, you can just type it in the comment section or in the question section, and we'll just quickly answer any question that you have. I feel like you were really thorough in explaining and sharing with us what the career of an engineer looks like and what to do to get into it. So, thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate it.
no problem. Thanks for having me.
Are there any more questions for Mario before we go?
It's I know everybody are tuning. Oh yes.
All right, so I think I'm gonna end the live here. If there's anybody that you want to share the live with, you can always send them over to our YouTube channel, the Minds of Jamaica YouTube channel, and you can always sign up to. Is engineering COVID proof? That's a good one.
Yeah, if you're in the office alone. Yeah, you can,
It
of
depends
course.
what type of
Design,
engineer.
this. Remember, a lot engineers design also. You don't need to be on site to design. You can stay in your home and design. You can work from home. Even what I do, I have a safe network that I can just sign in and see all the parameters of the plant and work from home. So yes, you
So
don't need to.
it's
It
getting there.
mhm.
All right. Thank you
That's
so
a
much,
hilarious
Mario. Thank you
question, though.
all for signing in today. We truly appreciate your time and thank you for always supporting. We love to see it. And also tell your friends, tell your family members to donate on the GoFundMe that we
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah. Shell out some money. Shell
so
out
that
some
we
money.
can get some more kids some tablets and some data service.
For sure, for sure, for sure.
All right. Bye.